Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. But let's go to where Lakshube Corner, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Yeah, to the YouTube video police. When I started my YouTube channel, I used to carry a serving spoon as my microphone. In case you have not noticed, this type of material that I'm wearing is very saily. So to put the microphone in the saily type of material, it makes this kwashu kwashu type of sound in the video. I heard it in the one video that I made sometime last week, and I regretted it. So before you come for my serving spoon, this is going back to the basics. And the real clan members, they loved it. So I hope all my day ones, nostalgia, right? Anyways, let's go to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry because Ken Matlala, who was supposed to be testifying today, he brought drama. He brought drama. His advocate, in fact, he's, how do you put it? He's not instructing you. Instructing attorney is the guy, and then she is representing Kat Matlala's lawyer in the Madlanga Commission for Inquiry. We got to really see her. You know, we always saw her here, there, and there. I know she's been in court where she was defending Kat Matlala in some other court trials or processes, but nobody took much attention to that until today when we actually got to hear her. How feisty she is, how defensive she is, and how she will die on that mountain for her client. That's a kind of a lawyer that you want on your side. Somebody that is saying, I am here to represent my client, and my client only one that matters to me. That's the type of lawyer that I want. Then came to the crux of the matter. The crux of the matter, Mrs. Advocate van der Haver, I don't even pronounce the surname right. She had come to make a postponement, but the postponement is based on, I think, on two grounds, if I'm not mistaken. The first ground is on constitutionality of Kat Matlala's rights. I'm thinking she's invoking Section 35 of the Constitution, where an accused person has the constitutional right to a fair trial, where it is not derived from fear, favor, or prejudice type of situation. And of course, in a democratic and open society type of situation, like transparency must be the order of the day. And secondly, her argument is that, listen, Ken Matlala is about to start a trial on the 20th of July, which is next week, Monday. So Ken Matlala will not have a fair trial when he is in two processes, legal processes at the same time. And the Constitution should override the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry because these are two rights. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry has, I think they also do have a right based on the Commissioners Act and things of that nature. But the accused person or the witness or whatever the case you might look at Kat Matlala, he comes with constitutional rights, and those constitutional rights are enshrined in Section 35 of the Constitution. So you can read Section 35 of the Constitution yourself, but in there, I think she was also invoking his right to silence, that if he is going to be asked self-incriminating questions in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, that he still has to answer in the criminal case, for example, the trial that is going to start on Monday, it might personally incriminate him, and therefore he would invoke his right to silence. Like, he has the right to remain silent. Anything that is said, he says, will be used and can be used against him. So for that not to happen, he will plead the proverbial American fifth. Like, I'm not going to talk. Basically what Brown Mukhotsi did. I will not answer that question for fear of incriminating myself. I'm paraphrasing here. And then the third thing that I picked up in the argument is that no, the negotiation seems to be still on, guys. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding this one completely. We know that there was negotiations where there was a plea deal between Kat Matlala and the state or IDEC. And then he said, okay, I don't mind telling the truth, and these are the truth, provided that I'm going to get 7 years, 6 years of that will be shaven off and time served, meaning that you will basically walk free. And then came a magistrate and said, this deal is pathetic. And so Kat Matlala decided to withdraw everything that he had said and stated in the plea deal. So meaning we are back to square one. But the sound of things from his lawyers sounds like there are plea deals that are still taking place. Maybe they went back to the drawing board because at the end of the day, Kat Matlala does hold the big names, the big fish, the ones that we want to see paraded before us and trialed, convicted, and keys thrown away. Which kind of like makes sense. If Kat Matlala does hold all that information, listen, let's deal with him in every way that he wants us to deal with him so that he can give up these names, in my opinion. So as I'm listening and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm finding myself in a catch-22 here. I understand Advocate van der Heever, but I also understand the Commission of Inquiry because the Commission of Inquiry is a whole different animal altogether. It is not a court of law. This is an investigative body that needs to get to the bottom of whether the South African police, they are politically interfered with and other spheres of our government. If we should be worried, we should be worried. So when it comes to now Kat Matlala's constitutional right overriding the Commission of Inquiry, who has a limited time, by the way, even though the time is expanded to the 12th of November, if I'm not mistaken, but the 2nd of October, they must have concluded. That's not enough time. And I agree with Senior Counsel Sinlo when she says that what the Commission of Inquiry and the High Court or trial, they got nothing to do with each other. The Commission of Inquiry has a job to get to. And what's his name? Kat Matlala needs to come to the Commission of Inquiry to answer questions about the accusations that he's part of the people that are influencing the state, and also about the cartel and everything else that we learned over the years. It seems like also the accusations that were made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi are also at play here and being questionable. So definitely Advocate van der Heever, she fought, like she held the Madlanga Commissioner of Inquiry to a standstill for little over an hour. She was like, I'm fighting for my client. I did see some people saying that she is angry and she's being aggressive. I mean, that's what happens between lawyers and judges, lawyers and chairpersons of commissions of inquiry. It's normal. They are not fighting because the commissions themselves, they when they respond, they tend to sound like they've lost their control. And it ends up being a bit of a hyped up conversation. I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? So my thinking is, I agree with Senior Counsel Silo. These are two different and separate processes. One is a court. The other one is a commission of inquiry. The commission of inquiry does have the right to question Kat Matlala. But if Kat Matlala feels like, listen, I have constitutional rights. I'm going to invoke my Section 35 of the Constitution not to respond to the questions that the Commission of Inquiry is asking for fear of implicating myself in the criminal court type of situation. I can understand that. But the problem with that type of defense is that the Commission of Inquiry has the right to draw inferences about the denial. That is why I always say, if you don't take the stand, you paint an impression that you are guilty and you are withholding something. It's better for you to take the stand so that you can defend your good name if your name is really good, rather than sitting there and your lawyer say, don't take the stand. Insist on taking the stand, especially when you know that you are innocent. Some lawyers are pretty lazy not to have you understand because they're just inept. I always felt that way. A lawyer that says don't take the stand, fire them. I'm telling you, because the inferences that's going to be drawn on you by the court is that you are hiding something when you are not, especially when you're innocent. So anyways, I feel like as they're taking a break, the ruling should deny Kat Matlala the postponement that he wants. However, it looks like there is some kind of a consensus that is going to be drawn that in 2 weeks, Kat Matlala will submit his affidavit or statement. And on top of that, a date of, I think, the 7th of August or something, he's going to return to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry to answer to the questions that the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry has on him. So after all that, it looks like we might see a light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm not quite sure if they are back, because the chairperson Madlanga asked that they stand down for a short time so that they can deal with this and come back. And so the next witness, which was yesterday's witness, Padiachi, continues with his testimony, and there's no tea break today. So let me end the video here. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are. And then we'll discuss at lunch what the full-blown Kat Matlala seriously came and yeah, he messed things up. he did the Kat Matlala style thing. Anyways, guys, I'll see you a bit later. I need to get back to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And yeah, the spoon is so that I'm talking to the YouTube video police. They say, oh, it's not nice to have a spoon. Oh, people, it's our channels. It's our videos. We can do whatever we want. If it doesn't suit you, there are a bajillion other channels you can watch where they don't do things like this. Bajillion. Goodbye, guys.